Well, welcome. And I am so excited about our guest today. Oh my gosh, Jen, if we were here in person, we're doing this interview over Zoom. And if she was here in person, I would just give her a big hug. I just adore this woman so much. And she is responsible for the Business and Sequins a logo and brand colors, and I did them myself. I tried myself. I did a home job. Jen saw them and she messaged me and said, no, can I have a play, please? And then she had a play and she came back with the whiz bang logo, the beautiful branding that she is. And anyone that meets Jen we're bowled over by Jen with your beautiful personality, her addiction to color and all things bright. But Jen, welcome so much to the Business and Sequins podcast.
Oh my gosh, you're making me blush. You're saying such nice things. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here, and I wish, yes, I could give you a big hug.
I know, I would love it. I would love it.
Because we're both in lockdown right now.
I know. So Jen's in Sydney at Australia. And so you've been in lockdown for how long now, Jen?
8 weeks.
Wow, 8 weeks. So in New Zealand, we've just gone into lockdown. So it's quite new for us. But yeah, we're a long way off 8 weeks. But Jen, just quickly in your own words, I've done your introduction at the beginning, but do you want to go through and just tell the listeners a little bit about your journey and about how you've gotten to where you currently are?
Oh my gosh. So how long have we got? No, it is a bit of a journey. I guess, look, I'm a brand strategist and stylist, content creator and illustrator. And this is something I've been doing actually for over 30 years. I pretty much knew what I wanted to do when I was 10 years old. So it's been a long-term love affair with what I do. But, obviously there's been times where I kind of haven't worked as much, when I had my daughter, for example. And I guess that's really where the journey starts to a degree, is my ex-husband and I parting ways. And at that time, I wasn't really working much because I didn't need to. But he set me a challenge. He said to me, "You are never going to be able to buy me out of this home." And I'm like, "Yeah, mate, you don't tell a Taurian woman that ever." So a challenge taken, and about 18 months later, I actually bought him out of our family home, building a business that allowed me to do so, which was really exciting. And I don't think much of that. I had my mother that I looked after and my daughter, and it was like, right, what am I going to do? Yeah, I guess I could sell it, but honestly, it's going to be easier to just work hard and stay here because I don't want to move everybody. And so that's what we did. I don't like moving house, just in case you didn't realize that. So yeah, from then on, I guess I've always worked. I've worked in branding and etc. On and off, and I guess that then comes to just about this time last year when I found out that my corporate position as a brand designer was going to be made redundant. And I freaked out because single mum for quite a few years really made me, I felt like I needed security because I've got a mortgage to pay, etc. But fortunately, and Joe knows this as well, when you invest in yourself and you invest in business masterminds and working with business coaches, it's the best thing, because I was freaking out. I was in a mastermind. I was working one-on-one with a business coach, and they kind of helped me flip the script as such to realize what an amazing opportunity I actually had to move forward and become a, fully self-employed entrepreneur. And that's what I did. And now I'm living my best life, even in lockdown.
I love it.
I love what I do. I wake up every day feeling absolutely filled with gratitude that I get to do what I do. And it's just, I look back to 12 months ago and it just blows my mind.
Oh my gosh. Tell our listeners what you get to do. Tell them what makes you just so happy.
So part of my story now, so I'm a brand strategist. So we work on the foundations of your business. So everyone thinks, oh, when I have a brand, it's a logo. No, actually, it's not just a logo. That's your building. You need to build your foundations first. So it's like if you're building your house and you don't have foundations, what happens to that house? It literally falls down. So what I do is work with women building their brand foundations. So, and one of the big, and part of storytelling is part of that. And one of my biggest parts of my story, of course, is that divorce. And now one of my absolute aims in life is to make sure that if life does not turn out to be that fairy tale that you want it to be, you are able to look after yourself and your family and stand on your own 2 feet. So I tend to work with small businesses. That's what lights my fire. Startups, I love them because I figure if I can give them this kickstart at the beginning, they're going to build their business on strong foundations. And it's just so important. And it's often something that is forgotten about because it's like, yes, I have a logo, I have a brand. Actually, no, you don't. It's really easy to forget that. And that process is what I've used to build this particular business, Pink Pom Pom, up from the beginning of this year to being booked out for the rest of the year. So it's pretty exciting.
Well, that's well done, Jen. Well done for being booked up till the end of the year. That's so good to hear.
I know, it's very exciting. That's for brand styling, but I mean, obviously I have openings for other things, but that's my major package, and to be booked up for that is just mind-blowing, really.
Yeah, and then you also have Pink Pom Pom Social as well.
I do.
Which I love. I'm a member of Pink Pom Pom Social. I use Jen's photos and things like that. It's amazing. Love it. Do you want to tell the listeners a little bit about Pink Pom Pom Social?
I will. So it probably started off a very similar way to the branding did. I'd actually been overseas talking at a conference about branding, and I came home and I was just driving to the corporate job and thinking, oh, I need to do this with my socials. And then I'm like, gee, I struggle with my socials. I'm a designer. What the heck does everyone else do? And then the little brain started kicking into overdrive. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to start up an image library. So what Pink Pom Pom Social is, it's an social image library as such. It's a membership. It's a monthly membership, and we have over 17,000 photos and quotes. Excuse me. The reason we combined with the quotes are huge engagement drivers. So, but it's literally for those times when you're feeling a little bit stuck. You may not have, because you've got to remember, you can't just be posting sales all the time. It's got to be like the 80-20 rule where, 20% promo, 80% content. And that's where we come in. So we make your lives so much easier by having a library.
Yeah, you do. And I love all of the colors, and I love all the different options. And I love the fact, I love color myself. So I love the fact that there are lots of images with colors, and it's not all just pale pink. I love it.
We're the image library for brands with personality.
Yeah, I love that. And so let's just circle back a little bit, because, you've been through some really tough times in your life with, what you've been through. How have, your husband gave you, the whole, you can't buy this house, you'll never be able to do that. How did you dig deep to be able to do that? Did it just sort of stoke a fire? What happened?
Yeah, it stoked a fire. It really did. I've always thought I was brought up by a strong woman. I think I am a strong woman. And yeah, it's just like, don't anyone tell me what I can't do, because goddamn, I can do that. And I mean, look, it was not a very good breakup. I was very broken at the time. But it was, what are my choices here? And sometimes you just have no choice but to be strong. So I had a dependent mother and a dependent daughter. So I really didn't want to be moving us all into the one place, because my dear mum, I probably would have killed her. Our place is a duplex. So mum had her own space, very much had her own space. And I thought, oh no, I can't do it all in the one house. It's not going to work. So that was just the easiest option, actually, was just to work really hard, build a business. And, you know, and I'm so grateful that I have my skills to fall back on. And that, yeah, as I said, that really drives what I do and the women that I try to help, because I want them to have that, just that fallback if necessary. Like, I don't want to, I'm not negative. I mean, you know me, I'm super positive, but I do know life is not always that fairy tale, and you just need to be prepared, I guess.
Yeah.
And when bad things happen, like, you don't have to panic quite so much.
And I think too that you kind of end up in that fight or flight response, don't you, where you're either going to fight it or you're going to think to yourself, how can I run a million miles from it? And so, you know, but you've, as you said, you've got dependents. You had your mum, you had your child. So, I mean, your option to run.
And the pussycats.
And pussycats, because Jen has had award-winning cats as well. So, Jen, how many cats have you got?
We've got 10 at the moment.
Wow, 10 cats.
Yes, I am an absolute bona fide crazy cat lady.
Although you do come with a husband, so you're not that kind of, yeah.
I have another one of those, and he's amazing.
Yeah, so, you do come with a new husband. Yes. And so, Jen, I really just take my hat off to you that you were able to have your back up against the wall. You know, your ex-husband said to you, you can't buy this house, and you just thought, that's it. I'm going to work really hard and I'm going to make it happen. How long did you say it was that it took you to do that?
From when he left, it was probably about 18 months.
Wow. So that's 18.
A little bit less. You know, by the time we kind of went through all the solicitors and trying to settle the financial, like, you know, come to a financial settlement and all of that stuff, which he dragged out quite a long time. Yeah, it was probably about 18 months.
Well done. Well done, Jen. Yeah, well done for doing that. And then, of course, in between that, then you got made redundant.
Yes, that was last year. The divorce actually happened, it was like 15, 16 years ago now. So, you know, sort of I met somebody else. We got married a couple of years ago. And I'd been working at this corporate job for eight years. And yes, thank you, COVID, was made redundant, which really was quite devastating. Because even whilst everyone can say to you, oh, it's got nothing to do with you, this was a decision made in Switzerland, not in Australia. It's still that mean girl in your head's going, yeah, like, of course you've been made redundant. They're not going to keep you. So that mean girl gets very, very strong. And then the imposter syndrome sets in. It's like, well, you know, you can't do brand strategy. Why do you think you can do this? Who's going to come to you? You know, and it's like, it's this constant conversation going on in your head. But, you know, fortunately, as I was saying, working with strong women, strong business coaches, they really flipped that script to make me see I can do this.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's funny how our mean girl too knows the moment to pounce. She knows at the weakest moment she will pounce, and not very nicely either. She'll just jump in and tell you everything that is wrong with you and everything that you could have done better. And yeah, you know, it is a mechanism there just to keep you in your little in your box and, you know, keep you safe. But gosh, our inner critics and mean girls are so tough.
I have a great technique for the mean girl, actually. I escort her to the door, give her a little push out, and I close it. And then I can't hear her because she's on the other side of the door. So,
do you know what? I love that so much because I'm the same. And I've named my inner critic, so she has a name.
What's yours called?
Mine is called Moaning Myrtle, you know, from Harry Potter. In the toilet. Yeah, you know, in the toilet. And she just, that is my inner critic, Moaning Myrtle. But what is yours called, Jen?
Fiona.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry to any nice Fionas out there, but I did come across a not so nice Fiona once upon a time in my early work career. And my mean girl's named after Fiona.
Yeah. Jen, and you know, Jen, the minute though that you name that inner critic, It really does take on a different persona, and all of a sudden she's not so much, you're not dealing with her so much in your head, but you're actually dealing with her as, to me, I've started dealing with her as a kind of physical, well, not a physical being, but just she was outside of my head all of a sudden, and
Yes.
I was able to treat her like you said, take her to the door, show her out the door, and then close the door. And I was the same as well. I was actually able to say, I've been quite nice to mine. I've said, thank you very much. I really appreciate that you're here, but I've got this, you can go now. And the minute I started doing that, I feel like I have dulled her down quite a lot. But, she still perks up. I'm sure like Fiona, she still rears up every now and then.
Yeah, she's been chatting a bit lately. I've got some really, exciting plans sort of leading into the next few months. And I'm like, and every now and then she pops up and says, you can't do that. I'm like, go away. Yes, I can.
I tell you. I know. And, they say, that they're voices that we've heard over our years through life. And, then we replay them into that voice in our head. But my moaning myrtle has gotten a bit quieter now, which I'm really happy about. But she does poke up. So if any of the listeners out there have got a inner critic in their head at the moment, think about giving it a name. Think about, giving it a persona, and, dealing with them like they are outside of your head rather than inside of your head. And I think that's great. And so, Jen, you've now remarried.
Yes, I have. Yes.
And I've met Jen's husband. He is just one of the nicest guys. Oh my gosh, he is lovely. How did you meet your now husband?
We actually met on RSVP.
I've never heard of RSVP.
Yeah, it's internet dating. And it's funny, I never thought that, so there's kind of a funny story for this. I never thought that I would ever date again. Like, I was burnt, but my ex-husband did actually say to me, you got to love the tact of ex-husbands. Oh, I'm on this great site called match.com, because I'm going, I'm setting out for my new life, and I'm going to meet new people. I'm like, oh, really? That's cool. And then, of course, I'm like, oh, I need to go and look at his profile. I totally need to go find his profile. But to actually do that, I had to set up my own profile. And so I did that and set it up. And then I found him, had a giggle. And I came home. And by the time I got home, somebody had contacted me. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, somebody's contacted me. This is so scary. And so I went on a date with this particular person. We had a great time. And look, I have to say, I loved internet dating because not only did I meet my husband, I made some really nice friends as well. So guys that like I could ring up and go, oh, I've got tickets to a concert. Do you want to come? And there would be no strings attached. We just had fun. And it was really nice. And it was a nice way to meet people. But then, I met David, and we clicked, and 14 years on October the 9th, actually. We'll be married for 3 years on October the 9th. We've been together for 14 years on October the 9th. We figured that wasn't easy. If we chose one date, it was going to be easy. So we went to Vegas, got married by Elvis, as you do, and had an absolute blast.
You went, oh my gosh. So you have done the Elvis wedding.
Yeah, absolutely. It was 100% Elvis wedding. Pink Cadillac, Elvis. Yeah. All there. It was the best fun. I've been talking at a conference in Vegas, and I knew a few people that were going to be there. So I'd invited them to come to our wedding. And I'd said to David, I'm going to Vegas to talk at this conference. Why don't you just come, and why don't we just get married? He's like, oh, okay. So I even asked him to marry me, actually, which after I said, I never want to get married again. But at the conference, I met lots of people. And I think, that, I love people. I'm like, what are you doing tomorrow? Come to our wedding. So we ended up with about 15 people at the wedding, and a friend of mine from Australia who was living in the US, she flew across as well, from Missouri. So we had a blast, an absolute blast.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it sounds amazing.
Bellagio. It was awesome. So much fun.
Oh my gosh, it sounds amazing. But did Elvis actually marry you?
Yes, he did.
Oh, I love it.
We sang Burning Love, coming down the aisle. That's one of my favorite Elvis songs. I love Elvis. One of my favorite Elvis songs. He sang Love Me Tender, of course. And he had to sing Viva Las Vegas.
Oh my goodness, I absolutely love it. I would love to see some photos.
I will send you some photos.
Yes.
We've got lots and lots of photos. We actually hired a photographer, of course, for the day. So yeah, it was cool.
Oh my gosh. I would love to see some photos. I think that would be amazing because, that is kind of one of the things that, you hear people have gone and done, but you don't actually meet a lot of people who have actually done it.
Yeah, I'm very blessed that my husband, current husband, he's totally brought me back to life in a lot of ways. So I'm very grateful. And now I just, we enjoy life as much as we can when we're stuck in lockdown. And even though at the moment I'm like, don't breathe, you're annoying me. Poor man. But no, he truly did bring me back to life and gave me back the joy and, the just the happiness.
How long did you internet date other people until you found him?
About 8 or 9 months.
Oh yeah, that's not too long.
Yeah, I really didn't have many bad experiences. Actually, I really don't think I had any bad experiences. Sometimes you meet people and you don't click, but a lot of people I did meet, we remained friends. It may not have been romantic, but yeah, we remained friends. I had fun. It gave me experience, like being out in the dating world. You forget this stuff. I was married for nearly 14 years. So you actually forget how to even do that kind of stuff. So it was really good. And so I found too, when I met David, before I actually met him face to face, we talked on the phone a lot. So when you meet them, it's not such a big deal because you've chatted on the phone, you know stuff about them, and you can just kind of continue a conversation. So it was, I highly recommend it as a way. Once you hit a certain age, I mean, even as a younger person, it's a great way to meet people because you really can vet them.
Yeah, I love it. Now, another great thing about you, Jen, is that you love fashion. Your fashion, I mean, you've got the most incredible selection of earrings. You've also got the most amazing bright coloured clothes. Where I guess has it come from you loving your creative element, your design? How has that all come about?
It just kind of grew. Again, a few years ago, I was really quite drab. I had dark hair. I just mainly wore black. I believe my businesses have really pushed me out of my comfort zone, as well as having a supportive husband who constantly, he's never disparaging. And having, I don't know, I just found a great, these dresses. I found a great style. I have about 12 of these dresses, little party dress for anybody that wants to know that they're very colorful, great, fun styles. And then my hairdresser actually talked me into the pink hair. And I love that. And I don't think I could ever go back to, my dark hair because it just, I don't know. I don't know. It just sort of evolved. As I've evolved, the whole color things. I've always loved color, always loved pink, love lime green, but never wore much color. But now if I wear black, actually my daughter-in-law said, "Oh, you're wearing black." I'm like, "I used to wear black all the time." She's like, "Oh, I only ever see you in color." Like, oh, how times change.
I can't imagine you not having pink hair or not wearing color. I can't imagine you being drab.
Yeah, I was.
Wow. And do you think that you think it's just evolved over time?
Yeah, it has. Look, my marriage was not fantastic. I was very much lacking in self-esteem. I was very much put down for, having put on weight and various things. So I did come out of that marriage really lacking in self-esteem. The internet dating helped tremendously. And then I met David, who, I kind of have grown and grown. I mean, look, it's a funny because it's 14 years this year that I've been with him, but it took quite a long time to glue the bits back together. I've probably been this colorful for probably a couple of years, but since I was made redundant and I've just kind of gone into being who I really am, I'm way more out there.
And your earrings. So Jen has got the most amazing collection of earrings. Do you want to just tell the listeners a little bit about your earrings? Because that's earrings and handbags.
Yes, and now shoes. Thank you, COVID. Yeah, I love a handbag. Check out Vendula London, guys. They're not sending to Australia at the moment, but they do have Australian stockists. They're the most amazing, intricate handbags, and they're all applique, and they're just really unique. Earrings, I love. I've had handmade businesses myself. I love working with handmade businesses and creative businesses. So therefore I buy their earrings. I probably have, I don't know how many pairs. I don't want to count. But I have lots. They're very bright. They're usually pretty big. And I love them. They just make me happy. And, at the moment in COVID, sometimes it's a little bit hard to figure out what to talk about in my stories, right? I always know I can go on there with a pair of earrings and go, these are my earrings of the day. I've actually got a box that I'm going to open very soon today that has 3 pairs of fairly flamboyantly amazing earrings in there. So no doubt I will share them in my stories.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to share them on the podcast, like send pictures so I can put them on your podcast page so everyone can see them. I will. Because I'm sure the listeners are going to go, I want to know what the earrings, I want to know what's in the box.
I've bought off some awesome makers. So
Jen will share the 3 earrings that she's got in her box that she's just mentioned, because I absolutely love Jen's style. I was talking to a woman the other day who wears a lot of black, and I said to her, what about, have you thought about wearing a bit of color or anything like that? And I was really sad because she just said that she couldn't wear color at this moment because she just doesn't feel like she's worthy enough to wear color.
Oh, look, 100%. And that was probably exactly how I felt because I'm not a small person. I'm not slim. I felt like I should hide myself in black because it makes you look slimmer. Whereas now I don't care. Like, the weight loss journey is another story, but I'm very comfortable in my colors now. And I think what people need to remember, especially women, is your perception of yourself is completely different to other people's perception. So, whilst you might look at yourself and think, I'm not worthy of wearing black, of wearing color, just guess what? You are. You're totally worthy of wearing color, because I'm sure people will look at you and go, and I know myself, I was at the vet's this morning with one of my cats. I came out and, everyone is sad in Sydney at the moment. And a lady was going in, she's like, oh my gosh, look at you. You're like a little ray of sunshine, like with all your colors. And I'm like, you know what? Color makes me happy. And I'm so glad that I just embraced wearing it and thought, it's actually about me.
Yeah,
I feel in it, not about what others think.
I think that's amazing. I really do, because I got stopped in the shopping mall the other week just because I was wearing sequins, and I was wearing my sequin shoes and dress, and a couple of women just stopped me and just said, you're like sparkly from head to toe. And I just said, and actually I'm going to meet up with one of them when we come out of lockdown for coffee.
That's
and
amazing.
she just said to me, I love the color. And because I was like you, I used to wear the same pair of jeans and the same top for many, many, many years, really short hair. I didn't go to the hairdresser, I didn't do anything because I didn't feel like I was worthy of it. And over time, like you, I've kind of come out of my shell and just gone, actually, if I don't do it now, when am I going to do it? And as I said to this,
you do TikToks. I'm too scared to do TikToks.
I do TikToks in my pajamas.
I know you do. I love it.
I know. I just did TikTok in my pajamas, which is quite interesting. I kept debating putting on the dressing gown or taking it off, putting it on or taking it off. And then my husband goes to me, Ambrose, he's such a sweetheart. He goes to me, he said, I'd take it off. The dressing gown looks too granny-ish. So I took off the dressing gown. I absolutely loved it. But as I said to this woman here, with that just said to me, that she can't wear color. I just said to her, just start with a little bit of color.
Just start with that little bit, like an accessory, a pair of shoes,
earrings, a great color.
Earrings,
Earrings are great color. And I said to her, or even, if you do wear makeup, just try a little bit of a brighter lipstick. Just introduce it slowly. You don't have to do it quickly, but and I said to her, just something that every day that you put it on, that is for you.
Absolutely. And start I've got a whole wardrobe of black dresses. I mean, who doesn't? But you accessorize with the color. Like I have, I buy sneakers from a terrific place in the UK called Irregular Choice, and they are the most flamboyant colored. You saw the boots I got recently, the blue boots. Now I would only wear those with a black dress. But then a bright colored handbag and the earrings. So, just start small, and before you know it, you'll be a rainbow.
Do you know Irregular Choice? I love Irregular Choice shoes. I've got 2 pairs of Irregular Choice shoes. I've got one pair, which is this black and white striped pair of shoes, and it's got a tape measure that goes up the middle of it and then down the back and up the heel, and it kind of folds over at the end of the heel and back down the heel. They're really cool. And the cat ate the top of the measuring tape at the back of the heel. She ate it on both shoes. So at least she ate it on both shoes. But I kind of thought,
extremely naughty.
Very, very naughty.
Yeah, I've actually got 4 pairs of Irregular Choice 3 pairs of sneakers and those boots that I showed you. I love them. They're just happy shoes. I've got pink and orange. I've got lime green and purple. I've got pink. And then I've got the rainbow ones.
I love that. They're just happy shoes. I love it. And it's just something that makes you smile when you see it every day and brings a bit of, inspiration and sparkle to you. Yeah.
Yeah, they all sparkle.
Jen, if you could give, do you have any tips for the listeners in either business, health, or wealth that you would love to share?
I'm sure I can figure something out. I'm quite sure. In business, I guess, the biggest thing is always believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe in your intuition. Don't let the mean girls take control. Because if I'd have done that, I wouldn't be here right now. And be in this happy place that I'm in. So always believe in yourself. I think that's the biggest thing, because if you don't have that self-belief, you can't push yourself forward.
Yeah. So true. So true.
It is. Health, make sure your mind is right. Everything else will follow. You've got to have the mindset. You've got to try and have that positive mindset. Actually, I've been having hypnotherapy recently. That is incredible. Oh my gosh. It's actually about emptying stress buckets and getting rid of negative thoughts. And it has been mind-blowingly good, I have to say. I started it for a weight loss journey, but it is actually, oh my gosh, it's changed so many things for me. So, but get that mind right, and then everything else just kind of follows along. And personal, do you know what? Hang on, what are my business health? Oh, and wealth. Don't shop too much.
coming from the lady who shops all the time.
Well, I know I can say it to you.
I know. Well, I'm not even allowed to shop. No. For the listeners that don't know, my children challenged me, my family challenged me to a 6-month challenge of not buying any new clothes, shoes, or handbags for 6 months. And I have to say, it has been really tough. Really, really tough. I still look on all of the websites that I loved, and I put them in the shopping basket and I look at them, and then I close the browser down. And it is really tough because I love shopping. I love all things bright and sparkly in clothing, and I have found it a real challenge. But on the flip side of that, I feel really great because of the money that we've been saving.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of that, I really want to do it, but we're saving a lot, and I really don't want to break this with my kids, because I don't want my kids to see me break it. So it is a big motivator for me to keep going. But I think I'm almost 2 months down. Oh no, yeah, I'm nearly 2 months down.
July,
yeah, nearly 2 months down. Yeah, it hasn't been easy. Some days I kind of think to myself, if only I could shop, I would really like that top.
Just don't tell my husband or my daughter that you're doing this, because they would challenge me and I don't wish to be challenged.
Yeah.
No, I have been very good. The hypnotherapy, back to the hypnotherapy. So with weight loss, I'm not particularly a binge eater or anything, but I've got quite a sort of addictive, compulsive personality. And what this has been doing, it's actually been stopping that compulsive behavior. So my shopping has dropped quite dramatically from like COVID last year, because I am very mindful now of, the things I put in my mouth, my behaviors and my shopping. So it's been a very fascinating change. And I say to my hypnotherapist, I can't believe that this is changing. This is not why we're working together. And she's like, yeah, I know. But what it does is it changes the serotonin and the dopamine. And I don't know, there's all these technical terms, but I'm just going, well, this is working and it's making me happy. And I'm not shopping as much. So
I'm so excited to see your journey and to see where you are in another year's time, and just watch you blossom and grow your business and just be the superstar that you are. Before we go, though, I have a couple of questions that I ask every person that comes on the show. So if you could pick a colour of sequin that best describes your personality, what would that be?
Okay. It's really hard because, everyone immediately says pink pom pom, it's got to be pink. But, my favorite color is actually lime green. I love lime green, but you can't be lime green pom pom. That just didn't work. It had to be pink pom.
No.
So I would say my favorite color sequin is rainbow.
I think you are rainbow too. I think you're one of those like holographic sequins that changes colors, and in different light shines different color brightly.
Yes, I like that idea. I have a holographic sequin jacket. Of course.
Of course. If we lived in the same town, I think I would be in your wardrobe nonstop.
We would do damage.
We would. And then on the sequin scale of 1 to 10, 1 being that you pull yourself out of bed every day, and 10 being that you're dropping sequins and glitter all over the place, where do you sit on the sequin scale?
I think it's going to have to be 10.
I love it.
Yeah, it's going to have to be 10.
I think you're off the charts.
Sometimes I feel like I just love to go around spreading like glitter and sequins and happiness, and
it's just beautiful. Jen, thank you so much for coming on this episode of Business and Sequins, and thank you so much for just having a quick chat. I'm sure that you've resonated with some of our listeners out there. I'm sure they'll be logging on trying to find who you are and trying to get all of your details. But we will post up the pictures of the earrings that Jen has talked about, maybe even the blue boots too, because I
might take a photo of the blue boots.
Yeah, I want to know what the blue boots look like as well. Yeah. And thank you so much. And we'll also put we'll also put all of the links as well through to your business, Pom Pom Social, and everything like that, so that you can all connect with Jen on Instagram, and you can keep up to date with what she's doing, because she is a woman that just spreads glitter everywhere.
Oh, bless.
Thank you so much, Jen. I absolutely love you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a blast.
Yeah, and we'll have you on again too, because we'll want to hear more.
I would love to come back.
Thank you. Okay, thanks, listeners. It's been a great episode with Jen, and all of the details will be under in the show notes. So make sure you go and have a look at the earrings and the boots. And I'll see you next time. Take care.